I'm Julie Samaka with SouthernCharmWreaths, and most of you ask, what does my wreath shop look like and how do I organize it? So this is what this video is for. Let me show you around. So most of you know that my wreath shop is actually the garage, a two-car garage in my family home. So when you walk into the garage, the first thing you would see are my shipping boxes. So I have all my shipping boxes here, of course, the fridge for water. And then I have a shelf that has some of the wreath frames on top, and then I've got bins of fall ribbon and Halloween ribbon, and then I've got like bins over here for some collegiate wreaths and ornaments and ribbon, and then I've got some bins here for more ornaments and fruit, and then I've got, this is typically where I keep the mesh that I'm currently working on for the season, so I changed that out so it's easy to get to. And then I've got like holiday ribbon down here for like Christmas and Mardi Gras and 4th of July. And then this would be where I actually take pictures. I've got these shadow box lights. And then I put a piece of aluminum foil, or it's actually insulation, down at the bottom to help reflect some of the light up so there's not a shadow under the wreath. And then if you lift it up, I've got more mesh. And then this is even, yeah, more mesh, which is usually that box is my collegiate colors. And then I've got sort of ornaments, you know, here and there. And then I've got my trash sitting on a box of moss. And then if you move over here, I've got my Wreath Easel, and these are the places where I keep my flowers that I'm currently working on. So it's spring, so I would change this out with the seasons and the holidays. And then of course I gotta have my music, my K-Love music. Then on this side I've got even more mesh under the bottom. It's like spring colors and my baby. And then I've got a couple bins of ribbon and paints, and then a big box of greenery. And this is some like Christmas and collegiate ribbon, and then some storage up at the top. These wreaths on top up here on the lattice are actually my personal wreaths that I use for my own home. And then underneath I keep my grapevine wreaths and some of the 10-inch mesh. And then over here on this side, this is actually a you know, a step ladder. That's where I keep the mesh that I'm working on if I don't use the whole roll, so that I know to use it. And then I work mainly I work on this card table that I actually put on risers. And then I have a box underneath that I keep some shipping supplies and you know, some of the cording or flex tubing and that type of thing down there. And then over here I have my which I love, my rotating tray that helps keep me organized. And on the craft table I have a big bin of more flowers. And these are usually like my summer flowers, but I would change this out if it was Christmas. This is where all my glittered poinsettias would be. And then so I have one bin. This is how I organize my ribbon. This is like drawers that I've gotten from at Walmart. And so I like I've organized them by color. So I've got purple and pink down there. Then I put like I'm working on some July 4th wreaths, so I would put my patriotic ribbon and spring at the bottom. And then I've got some of the 50-yard rolls up here that are spring related. And then I've got, this is another thing that I got at Walmart. There are two drawers that I stacked on top of each other, and I've color coded the drawers by color. So I've got, you know, blue and orange and yellow and red. And then at the top I've got even more bins of burlap ribbon and some gold ribbon that I kind of used, you know, throughout the year. Now if you walk around, I've got another bin of, actually I've got an extra bin I could put some stuff in, but on the bottom I've got all my red and white ornaments in there. And then I've got a big bin over here full of all my glittered picks. All the glitter picks go over here, and then I'll walk around. So I've got 2 more boxes here full of, this is where I keep my Christmas flowers on the bottom, and I would change it out for spring when its time comes, and yeah, more flowers. So over here is where I have an abundance of wreath forms that they won't fit on the, you know, the top over there, so I kind of keep them over here. These are the ones I'm currently working on. And then this is a table that I keep all of my supplies that I'm currently, like for this season, that I'm currently working on, so that I can see them all and I make sure to use them all up. And then, yeah, more flowers. Over here would be a box full of the burlap mesh and the paper mesh. And then I have some, let me move this wreath. This is one that I kind of lost interest in after I started making. There's trash cans, the plastic trash cans you get at Walmart, and that's where I store my longer stemmed flowers. And then I've got, yeah, I have to share it with the yard stuff and hubby's tools. And then behind the fan over here, I've got more tubs of ornaments that I sort by color, like theme, candy theme, you know, lime green and red and that type of thing. And then I do store, I have like all my evergreen wreaths under here and other seasons that I pack away. I put in boxes underneath. So I think that's everything that I've showed you. I've got more storage up at the top here that I put my garland. You know, I have to share it with DJ's hub, you know, my hubby's DJ equipment. Up at the top, if you're looking at the top, I've got storage hanging at the top, and then I've got fluorescent lighting. This is where I have some wreaths hanging that, you know, are listed on my website and haven't quite sold yet. And then I've got more lighting over here and more storage. So that's basically it. And of course you have to have, my dogs have to have a place because they have to be with me everywhere I go, so they have to sit there. And I've got some heaters now because it's cold. But basically that's it in a nutshell, my wreath shop. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour.